Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Cover 4 podcast. As Randy and I are going to do this one on a Monday afternoon. Got a whole bunch of stuff coming up here, so decided to do it a little earlier than usual. So, talk about high school playoffs and talk about the Big Four and Northeastern as football season for NSU. Still waiting to find out if they're going to get play one of the bowl games because they did not make the Elite Eight out of Super Region 4. In fact, they weren't even in the top 10. So they are just waiting to see if they get one of the games that they have around this area as far as uh, bowl games are concerned for Division II teams, and would give them an extra 15 practices if they get one of those, which would be good.
That would be good.
We'll,
I hope they
we'll,
do.
we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but first off, the only team still left in the high school football playoffs are the Sequoyah Indians. Went out first high school game I've been to in a while, and they pasted Bethel 57-6. It was 50-0 at halftime, and
Whoa.
continuous clock second. So looked it up while I was sitting in the stands. Uh, took my clipboard with me and charted the penalties like I used to do at Northeastern when Kenny Evans was the head coach up at NSU, and so I had that with me. But looked this up from the Arkansas Activities Association. Over there, if you're 35 ahead or more at halftime or past halftime, then it's automatic continuous clock. Here, I think it has to be talk to the coaches, but I think with it being as out of hand as it was, Bethel's coach said, "Yeah, spin it the second half," and we were done in half an hour.
Yeah,
So
it's a kind of a mercy rule at that point when
pretty
it's
much, there is a mercy rule in 8-man and 6-man,
mm,
45-point rule. So the ball game would have been over at halftime.
mm-hmm.
So, but now the Indians find out how good they could be, as they've got to make a trek to Jones. That's over there by Oklahoma City.
That's what I was thinking. That's going to be a long bus ride over to the other
Yes,
part of the state.
pretty much right into the middle of the state of Oklahoma. They will take on the Jones Longhorns, and the winner of that game will play in the semifinals. And talking with Terry Eustace prior to the ball game, the semifinals are usually on a neutral site,
Mm-hmm.
but he
I
told
thought so.
me that there's a lot of schools that are not willing to host it, mainly because they don't get paid enough by the OSSAA to host the darn thing. So there's a possibility the semifinals may be on campus sites.
Ah, that's too
But
bad.
that would be a good thing for Sequoyah
It would.
because the way the bracket is set up, they're at the top of the bracket. So that would put them, this is an odd numbered year. So there's a possibility if they beat Jones, they could possibly host the semifinals at Thompson Field.
Well, that would be good for Sequoyah. That would be fantastic.
Yep. But that is that's a possibility. I was thinking, semifinals, looking at 4A, if this would have happened, which it didn't because both Hilldale and Fort Gibson got beat in the first round. Uh, if they had won and then won this week, they could have had the semifinal at Ruffer Village, a neutral site, instead of going either to Fort Gibson or to Hornet Field there at Hilldale. So that didn't pan out because both of them got beat. Cushing beat Hilldale, and Fort Gibson lost to Ada uh, in the first round. So they're both gone. So Sequoyah is the only team around here, with the exception of Vian, that's still in the playoffs. So, but it'll be an interesting ball game. Jones is, I believe, they're undefeated. Sequoiah's loss was to Metro Christian. So it'll be an interesting ball game Friday night over at Jones to see what happens. And while I am here, let me see if the if Jones is going to uh, be approved to stream the ball game.
Now that
And
hasn't been done in a while. Like
what is
in
that?
one of the Cherokee County schools, have they been streaming any of those games lately?
Sequoiah's been streaming. Yes, they've
That's
been.
good.
They have been streaming. Now they've been streaming the as far as the video.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody uh, broadcasting for. So hang on a minute. Let me get on here and see if I can pull this up. So bear with me for a moment. Oops. Well, I'll have to look at it later because I can't pull the thing up right now. So, but if it is, just look on the OSSAA website. There is a thing that says they've got a list of schools that are going to stream the ball games. So they have to be approved by the OSSAA. The finals, they go through the National Federation of High School Network. So none
Mm-hmm.
of the schools can do the finals. But that's a thing that the OSSAA has agreed to as far as and you
Yeah.
got it's a pay per view uh, in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that goes. But like I say, Sequoyah, the only one left. Keys lost to Vian 60-14. So they end up 5-6. So
That was a little
still,
bit of a disappointing season. I was kind of hoping for a little bit better than they wound up on the season for me.
well, they looking here at their schedule, they had they beat Gore, then lost to Stillwell, to Sequoyah. They beat Little Kansas. Concord lost to Salina. beat Chelsea, lost to Adair, who was the kingpin in
Mm-hmm.
their district, then beat Commerce and lost to Wyandotte. That's what threw them into the fourth spot and
Yeah.
winding up having to face Vian in the
I
first round.
am.
So
Yeah.
that's how that went. So that was a decent season. It was a little bit better than what it was a year ago. So that's
Yeah.
well. NSU went down to West Alabama, scored 16 in the fourth quarter, and the Redmen came away with the win, 33-20. That is 8 wins. They wind up regular season 8-3. They were down 10 early, but came back and won it. Uh, Most wins since winning 9 in 2000. Now, that's the last time that NSU made the postseason as far as the NCAA playoffs is concerned. That game was here and they
Yeah.
got beat in the first round. And then they went to the semifinals in 99 and then lost out in the semis and didn't get to go to the finals, which was played in where North Alabama's at.
Mm-hmm.
And
I really proud of NSU for what they've
yes,
accomplished this season.
a big turnaround. Big turn.
Huge, huge
Credit Darren
turnaround.
Chiaverini with uh, a great job of getting
Mm-hmm.
the uh, on the right side of the win columns.
Yeah.
The only bad thing is, being an independent and not in the MIAA
Mm-hmm.
would have been the coach of the year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that.
And he should have been.
Yeah,
Really. I mean,
but but he, we're not in the league right now.
right. Which
So
is it's kind of a shame because he huge turnaround, and I mean, I almost wish they could give some sort of an honor
yeah,
somehow for him in
somehow
a way. You
somebody.
know, he did a great job. He really attitude shift and everything about those guys this year.
Mhm. Yes, and you know, no coach of the year honors, no all conference uh,
Mm-hmm.
as well. That's the downside about that. The 5 road wins, best since 1994. That
Wow.
was the year JJ was the quarterback, and they won the NAIA title that year.
I remember that. That's been, gosh, has it been that long? It's been
It's been
almost
that
30
long.
years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
31 years. And
Wow.
then the 6 game winning streak they're on is the best since Kenny was the head coach in 2011.
So
So
it's been almost 15 years for, well, 10 for him.
14.
14, yeah.
So uh, good season. This should help out the recruiting
Hope so.
when they hit the road, and they probably already hit the road already. So the not only the high schools, but also going to have to wait till after January 2nd, see who might be in the portal.
Mhm.
Uh, there's going to be some guys that will want to check out of D1s and want to get some playing time. So that will be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah,
They'll
well,
be independent in 26. Schedule's not finished because there's 2 1AA games that they've got to fill in the blanks. Those are, as I call them, gate games. Those will be road games where NSU will get a guarantee for
hmm
playing somebody. So that's still on the horizon for the next couple of months. That's something uh, John and them will be working on. John Sizemore, the
Yeah.
athletic director there at NSU. So, but a good 8-3 year for the Redmen, and we'll see what transpires as far as the Redmen are concerned. Uh, Speaking about that, uh, tickets are now on sale for the Hall of Fame coming up on the 24th of January. The class has been announced. Uh, they will be Eric Crawford, one of the men's soccer players back in the 2010 era. A guy who you've heard about, Lauren Montgomery, the
Oh,
current head coach of the Bixby Spartans,
yeah.
that 99 NCAA semifinalist team. Uh, Rachel Sordall, a member of the women's soccer team. Bailey Price, now Bailey Williamson, one of Scott Varner's golfers, two-time MIAA All-Conference. She will go into the Hall of Fame along with the 1980 NAIA National Runner-Up team. That group, that would have been Lynn Patillo, uh, Andy and Tony Fiorentine. Tim Fouch was on that ball club.
Yeah.
Bobby
That's
Smith, R.C. Morrow, uh, Keith Fletcher, uh, Ira Albright, the one we called the preacher back then. In fact, I did a story about Ira for the game program. I've got it out in the garage where some of the old programs are at.
Man, that was a fun team. And
Yes.
I remember that game very well. It was very exciting because it was broadcast on, I think it was KEOK, KTLQ somewhere there in
Mm-hmm.
Tahlequah. And
Yep.
it was a fun broadcast. I can remember listening to it on somewhere like TGNY or somewhere, and the game was
Yeah.
on.
Yep. Back in '80, that Steve Buzzard was
Hmm.
doing call of the ball game.
That's right.
We, we beat Angelo State 10-3. They had a quarterback that he had been only intercepted like 5 times all year, and we picked him off. I remember putting an X and a circle around it 7 times in my,
Wow.
and we beat them 10-3. The game ball went to Tom Eckert.
Yeah,
At the
I remember that.
time
I
was
remember
the
that.
defensive coordinator. Uh,
Hmm.
Harold Penn was the offensive coordinator, and George Elliott was the head coach.
George Elliott was the head coach. Yep, I remember that. I remember that team well. That was fun.
Yep, and
That was
then
a fun
beat
season.
beat Nebraska Kearney 14-0
Hmm.
uh, here, and then did not outbid Elon for the national championship game,
Hmm.
and wound up having to get on. They had to go on the bus and go all the way to Burlington, North Carolina.
I remember that.
So, they will be honored the 24th of January. The
Congratulations to them.
Yep, and the Hall of Fame ceremony will be held at the Choda Center. Like I say, tickets are on sale right now. Uh, the If you just go as an individual, it's $65. Uh, there's tables that will be available. Uh, like I say, uh, looking here, let's see, full table is 450. Half table, which is 4 tickets, is $225, and individual tickets $65, and you can get them from the athletic department up there at NSU. So head on up to the event center, and you can get with them, and they'll be able to set you up for the Hall of Fame ceremonies on the 24th at the Chose Center. Speaking about Hall of Fame, Matt Cloud has put out uh, registration for the Tahlequah High School Athletic Hall of Fame, uh, asking for people to be nominated for the Hall of Fame. One guy that I want to see get in, guy who patrolled the sidelines on the basketball court for the Lady Tigers, one Don Ogden. He's not in yet, but
Hmm.
hopefully he will go into the Hall. Uh, I know he has not been, his health hadn't been too good here lately since he
Hmm.
retired from THS. But Don would be an excellent person to go in. He coached not only in the good old days of 6-on-6, but made the transition to 5-on-5. And when he gave it up, well, he went up and helped me during the home games when I did Tuckahoe High School basketball.
Hmm.
So he would be one that would be able to hopefully go in. There's probably a couple of others out there that should go in. Uh, don't know right off the top of my head right now who is in and who isn't, but I do know Don's not in yet, but he would be an
He'd be a
excellent
good one.
win.
He would. I agree. That would be a good choice
Mm-hmm.
for for the coach for
Yep.
sure.
Uh, let's get to Big Four. OU with a huge win over
Ah,
Alabama. Uh,
Shockaroo on that one. That was a tuss. I call that one the tussle in Tuscaloosa.
yeah, that one I was not too happy about that one. I wanted to
No, I
see
knew you wouldn't.
Bama
Um,
and Cole Adams. I'd like to have seen him win that one. In fact, uh, Mike, his dad, former athletic director at Tahlequah High School, and also played for the Redmen. Played cornerback for the Redmen back in the '80s. Uh, he took some guys down there
oh, did he?
uh, on his Facebook page. Uh, they got to tour the locker room down there. Oh,
I'm sure that was a treat. I don't know if you've seen the Oklahoma locker room. I have, and if it's anything like Alabama's, it would have been a treat for sure.
uh, yeah. Now they players on their players' locker, they have their picture, but they're not in uniform. They're in suit and tie.
They're in suits. That's what Brent Venables does now as well.
Yep. And they are in suit and tie. Uh, that their pictures are in their locker. Uh,
Yep.
there's a company that does locker rooms. Uh, I think it's Longhorn Sports or something like that. It's a company out of Texas, and uh, I'm pretty sure they did Alabama's. They did Bixby's,
Hmm.
and brother, let me tell you, uh, Matt Cloud needs to go up to Bixby and take a look at their new locker room up there, and take a look at the
Yeah.
lockers, because that $24 million bond that got passed for the new uh, Tiger Stadium on the campus of Tahlequah High School coming in 27. They got to build locker rooms, new coaches' offices. Uh, that's you might want to go up and take a look at the lockers and see
Hmm.
what they look like. I mean, they are sharp. They've got
Yeah.
places for the helmets, for your shoes, put the shoulder pads and the uniform up. Uh, it is a sharp looking locker for each individual player.
That's great. I'm glad he got the chance to go and look at that. I hope that was a fun experience for him.
Uh, well,
I,
Mike has probably been in there before, but the guys he took with him from probably from Owasso, where he's at,
mhm.
uh, they were probably amazed
I'm sure they were.
with the
I
way.
I know I know Oklahoma's was stunning, and that was several years ago. That was probably, gosh, close to 10 years ago. So I'm sure theirs is a
Well, they
lot.
have
Um,
redone thing in the last couple of years down there.
yeah, I I do got to have kudos for Taylor Wine, defensive player for Oklahoma, defensive lineman of the week honor after the Alabama game.
That's a
Uh,
big coming from
that
that.
was a big one because he was substituting for R. Mason Thomas,
Mhm.
the key player for the Sooners defensive line, who pulled that hamstring in the win the week before
Now the
against
question
Tennessee.
would be, will
So
he be available for these last two ball games? That's going to be the big question.
it's going to be a huge question, but he wound up being a breakout star.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting. Wow, like I said, Jim, I was not prepared to win that game. I was shocked
Mm-hmm.
um, when it was 10, and then what I thought was going to happen was they were going to walk off with a field goal and win it by one. And I thought, gosh, dang it, they came up just 1 yard or one play short, and for the win, it was everything was stacked against Oklahoma. It was their homecoming. It was all sorts of stuff. They had the big win against Tennessee, and it was a shockaroo as far as I was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Great defensive play there at the end,
oh
the
man,
ball away, because if he doesn't knock it away, that's a first down.
sure is. And that's what I suspected would happen. I When it was fourth down, because Alabama is no pushover by any means.
Oh,
I Mateer, Oklahoma's offense, their quarterback, Mateer, he's a good player, but I mean his yards, everything was on the defense for the most part. Now Satania, the receiver, he did outstanding. I mean, a couple of times I know it was third and long, and he came up big with the first down. Um, but the defense did what it took. They just chipped away. And I will tell you, I have not seen a field goal kicker against Oklahoma like the one they have now for a long time.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Now you got Mizzou and then LSU.
Yes, Missouri. They're a, Jim. They're a 9.5 point favorite. I don't know if you saw that this morning.
No, I hadn't seen that.
Missouri is Oklahoma. Mizzou's an underdog by 9.5. I don't know if that seems a little high to me.
Well, Missouri has had problems at quarterback.
Yeah, they have,
And
and it's a home game for Oklahoma. The last two,
mhm.
you know.
And the one thing that did not need to happen looking at that last game was for LSU to pull one out of the hat and beat Arkansas like they did 23-22 at
Mm-hmm.
home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, uh, interim coach got his first win there at Tiger Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got an out of conference game this week, and then they come to OU.
Mm-hmm.
The thing you got to worry about is these two Tiger teams. could have uh, a lot of momentum going into the game,
Sure
especially
could.
LSU.
Yeah.
So you look at Mizzou. Okay, they let me get their schedule up, and
Well,
they are they played Mississippi State at home, beat them 49-27. And that was their last game at home because they're on the road this week and next week because the battle line rivalry is next week against Arkansas at Razorback Stadium.
mhm.
So,
Mizzou, though, they've their quarterback has missed the last two games with an ankle injury,
mm,
but I saw this morning there's some optimism that he could play against the Sooners next Saturday. So I don't know. I'm just not sure yet.
no,
I'm
they
not.
are currently 7-3. They're 3-3 in the league. And here's the thing with Missouri. They've only played 2 games on the road. That's it.
Hmm.
They played 8 home games at Faurot Field, and
How's that even possible
uh, they
in
played
the
Central
SEC?
Arkansas. Okay, they played Central Arkansas. They played Kansas, then Louisiana Lafayette, then South Carolina, UMass, Alabama. Their first road game was at Auburn. That was their first road game. Then they played at Vanderbilt. Then they had A&M at home and then State at home. And now they're on the road for the last 2. So just a quirk in the schedule. The way the
Hmm.
schedule fell, they were able to play uh, some some gate games early, giving a gate to teams like Louisiana, to UCA, people like that. Plus the big rivalry game between Mizzou and Kansas uh, finally got renewed, similar to Texas and Texas A&M. That'll be next week.
Hmm.
So uh, just like I say, one of the quirks in the schedule where they,
Strange.
yeah, very strange. Uh,
Yeah, but then Oklahoma, they can't even rest on their laurels with Missouri because it's going to be a tough game regardless.
right.
And then they got LSU, which has been a thorn in Oklahoma's side for years.
Mm-hmm. Been a thorn in the side of Arkansas as well.
Yeah.
But
I can tell you there's nothing better than Oklahoma would love to spend senior day with a win over LSU
mm-hmm,
because they've really, I mean, it goes back to the Nick Saban days with LSU
mm-hmm,
that LSU's upended Oklahoma.
had their number. Uh,
Yeah.
was looking at some stuff about the playoffs.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I
Well,
got
I was
some
looking
eyes
at
on.
on ESPN. which they'll come out with the poll tomorrow. Uh, there's a couple of guys. I think Mark Schlabach is one of them, and the other guy. They got OU facing Notre Dame in the first round,
Saw that.
but one of them has it in Norman, and the other one has it in South Bend, flip flopping the 8-9 seed.
Wow. Well, that would be it would be good for Norman if if Notre Dame came to Norman. That would be good for the community, that's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be about the only thing. But the scary part of playing in South Bend is extremely cold weather
Mm-hmm.
and snow. The only good thing, Notre Dame now has turf.
Mm-hmm.
At least you could sweep the thing off.
Yep.
As far as getting it prepared before the game. Now, if it starts snowing during the game, all bets are off. So
I know before the Alabama game, there was talk of a good bowl game for Oklahoma and Nebraska,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
which would be a fun rivalry. But the Alabama game kind of upset that apple cart a little bit.
yeah, you
Now
upset
they're
it a
talking,
little
yeah,
bit.
a little. A couple of people were talking, hopefully something with Lincoln Riley and USC, but I don't see that happening.
There's still talk about that in a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I'm just not
in
sure.
case in case of stubbing your toe one of these last two. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be the
But I would sure love to. I would love for Brent Venables to get the playoff. That would be a big boost for him.
yeah, and it would. It really would.
He's. I'm just not sure of their offense.
No, I'm not sure of it either. And that's where you've got Mizzou, that is a ball club that is sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
You know it as well as I do. The years that you think Mizzou is not going to be worth a flip, they will turn on you and go 9-2 or
And
9-3.
that has been a long held thing with Mizzou and
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma. I mean, I would say that goes back to the Big Seven
Yes.
days.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's not just Big Eight, but Big Seven. Big Eight, it was always a nightmare to go play Missouri. And it didn't matter. It's almost like Texas. It didn't matter how good or bad you thought they were.
Yeah. And going to Faroe Field back in the day,
Ugh,
not easy.
not fun. No. Thank
But
goodness
now,
thank goodness the last two games are in Norman.
yeah, yeah. But now with Faroe Field being redone, uh, it's still a snake pit up there,
Mm-hmm.
but the facility is a lot better.
Yeah.
The very similar to what they have done in Nashville with the Vanderbilt Stadium.
Vandy. Yeah, it has.
Vandy only
Mm-hmm.
seats like about 41,000. That's about the old seating capacity at Skelly Stadium before
Yeah.
they knocked
Yeah.
down, before they knocked down the north end zone and put the Chase Center in, the Case Center.
Um, Oklahoma right now, I'm just cautiously optimistic, even with
Yeah.
those two upsets,
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks of upsets. When is their luck going to run out? And now their defense, I think their defensive line is the real deal.
Yeah.
I really think it is. He has built Venables has built a defensive line worthy of the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has.
But the
Still,
offense has a lot to be
offense.
desired. Yeah.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep. I just hope they will all stay together because I think they will be much improved next year if they stay together.
And
But
that's
with the portal, you
$64.
never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I would rather had Satania uh, still wearing cardinal and white.
I bet you would.
And he was at Arkansas.
Yeah.
So uh,
Yep.
Arkansas, speaking about them, they're going to go down and have to face a team that ain't too happy right now. They got to go to DKR and they got to take on Texas,
Yeah.
and then finish against Missouri at home. That's
Yeah.
their two. Looking at the others, Oklahoma State, uh, they've got they got to go to UCF
Hmm.
uh, this week and then finish at home against Iowa State.
I, Jim, I don't know if you saw this. I saw the rankings of the top 25 worst teams in the
Mm-hmm.
NCAA. Gosh dang it, Oklahoma State was number two.
Yeah, yeah, right now it is, and they get beat 14-6 by K State Saturday. They kicked two field goals, but couldn't keep the Cats out of the end zone and wind up with another L. But you got to play out the string, and I think they'll announce a head coach probably after the game against Iowa State. Uh, I think Chad Weiberg got somebody in mind, and he's
Mm.
not telling anybody anytime soon.
I hope they pull something together because as aggravating and as much as an Oklahoma alum, they
Mm-hmm.
were aggravating and we like to poke fun of them. Oklahoma State is good for Oklahoma and the Big 12. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to see them just fall off into nothing.
Fall
And,
off the cliff. Yeah.
yeah, and just totally be an abyss. And that's what they've turned into this year.
Yeah.
I I still it's old hat, all water under the bridge now, but I still think they made a mistake by getting rid of Gundy this year and letting him finish out and retire. But that's neither here nor there. It's not my
Mm-hmm.
call.
Yeah.
I just
Tulsa.
think it was bad for him.
Yeah.
I do want to before we leave the Big 12 though. What about the Cougars? Cosmo and the Cougars, man, they took TCU by storm.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think they're going to be left out of the playoff?
Uh, very possible unless they run it. I think if they don't run the table, meaning win the last two,
Mm-hmm.
get into the title game with a rematch against Wreckham,
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech,
Yeah.
at Jerry's place, then very possibly they could be left out. The only way that I can see them in is they better win the last three.
Well, I know they got UCF. They've got Cincinnati left. Is that the last two? And
I
then
think
they and then maybe get the championship game if
so.
they get in it.
Right.
Um, I heard some talk about style points.
Mm-hmm.
Kalani Sataki doesn't. He said he doesn't like that game. He doesn't like the style points. That's just not who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He would rather
Win
win the
and that's
game
it.
and yeah, and that be it, and let some of the younger players do their thing and not run up the points. And
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think the style points will enter into the equation because I think the committee has you know, taking that out of it.
Hmm.
Uh, that's my opinion. 25 cents will get you a cup of coffee, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to look at that much. I don't think. Um, Now, here's the interesting thing: is that the the committee has a new chairman because the chairman had resigned.
Right.
Guess who is the new chairman? Hunter Yurachek, the athletic director of the University of Arkansas. So
Mhm.
he has had to jump in. He was on the committee, I think, anyway, but now
Hmm.
he's had to jump into the chairmanship of the committee. So I think things will be interesting. Let's see what he says tomorrow night.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I'm still confused as to how some of that works because if BYU is in the top 10, how are they not in the playoff? Uh,
Well, you have got to you have to have a one of the group of five, which means that is the American, which is the league Tulsa, Memphis, North Texas is in, the Sun Belt, um, which is James Madison, Old Dominion, uh, Louisiana, that bunch.
mhm.
Uh, they are guaranteed a spot. Normally, that's going to be number 12. That's going to be the 12 spot. Uh, I know that much. Now, way it was last week, uh, Texas and OU would have been odd man out at 11 and
Exactly.
12. Now, they'll explain it if we watch the show tomorrow night. Uh, they should explain, why, you who is in the 11 and 12 spots, or at least the 12 spot, because that's a guaranteed spot for the
Hmm.
for the I guess you could say a mid-major, so to speak, as far as a conference is concerned. Because truthfully, there's only four big conferences, and then you have the group of five,
Right.
which used to be, well, you don't have the Pac-12 until next year, uh, because they're going to reorganize. So you'll be back to having five conferences, and then you have one of the other two, they get the 12 spot. So that's kind of what I did that anyway. Uh, Speaking about the American Conference, Tulsa got a win on Saturday. They beat Oregon State at home.
Hmm.
So that broke I believe it was a 5-game losing streak for the Golden Hurricane. And they've got the week off this week before they go to Army and then finish the year at home the Saturday after Thanksgiving against UAB. And here's an interesting thing about the game with Oregon State. Oregon State, as you know, part of the Pac 12 that dissolved.
Right. Right.
The only two teams that was left hanging didn't get into a league was
Correct.
Washington State and Oregon State. Here's an interesting fact about that ball game, and the Tulsa World did a Freedom of Information Act up to Oregon State, because they knew they couldn't get it out of TU because TU is a private school.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when you play a non-conference game, the host team pays that team that's coming in. Well, that was not the case Saturday. The University of Tulsa not only got the gate, but Oregon State, because they were in such a pickle for scheduling, they paid Tulsa $500,000
Oh, wow.
to be their opponent at Skelly Stadium.
Wow.
Now, the return, if is, and I put the big word if in there, is it's played, the return game wouldn't be played till 2032 in Corvallis.
Hmm.
By then, Oregon State will be in the Pac 12, the new Pac 12, and they may not have to have TU return the favor because their scheduling may be better. Don't know,
Hmm.
but that's but they paid TU 500,000 to be their
Wow.
opponent in Tulsa,
Wow.
and they shelled out about, I think it was like about $3 million to schools to play, whether it was in Corvallis or on the road.
Hmm.
And this was one of those things. So very interesting, to say the least.
No
Uh,
kidding.
Basketball is the round ball has started bouncing,
Yes, it
and
has.
Northeastern, the Redmond and Lady Reds, start off 2-0. Lady Reds went out to Weatherford, out to where we call the Doghouse, out in Weatherford at Southwestern. They beat OBU 83-77, then beat the Lady Bulldogs 63-44. So Keith Ferguson's Lady Reds are 2-0 on the season. The Redmen, on the other hand, they played here at home and beat Arkansas Monticello 79-74, and then beat uh, Minnesota Crookston by the score of 80-73. That was
Wow.
played here at the Event Center. And if you want to see them, they will play tomorrow night, Tuesday night. The girls will take on Washita Baptist, and the guys will take on Ozark Christian. Game times 5:30 and 7:30 up at the Event Center. So,
Good.
uh, talking about Washita Baptist, there was some talk of Henderson and Washita being possibility of college game day. Well, didn't happen. Game day wound up in Pittsburgh as they did Pittsburgh and Notre Dame Saturday. But Reese Davis did talk about the Battle of the Ravine, the 98th edition, and
Mm-hmm.
Henderson, the Reddies beat uh, Washita Baptist 41-14. So Washita made the walk across the street, across Highway 67 over to Cliff Harris Stadium, and then walked out of the locker room and walked back home and had the win.
Good for them.
So, but I would suspect either next year or the year after that game day might show up in Arkadelphia, and the guys from game day would get to see the uniqueness of the Battle of the Ravine. The schools being directly across the street from each other, and the visiting team walks across the street to the opposing locker room. No buses needed.
How neat would that be, though?
Yeah, it would be neat. And
Kind of fun.
I would say that McAfee would eat that up.
I would think so. I think he would. I think he would really like that and
Yeah.
talk about that a lot.
And also Saban would like it as well.
Yeah,
Because he's always had to get on a plane and then on a bus for a road
yeah,
game.
right,
Wow, this
right.
is something you don't see every day.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So, but anyway, uh, reason why we're kind of doing uh, 2 weeks worth of stuff. Well, next week we're not going to be on because of uh, Thanksgiving week, number one. Number two, uh, Randy's going to get invaded Friday.
Yes,
His grandson, his daughter Wendy, and her husband, and his grandson Luca are going to invade Provo, Utah.
yes, they are. I don't know what we're going to do. We not no snow yet. We had a small dusting yesterday, but I don't know. We were planning on going snowmobiling, but there's not any snow up in the mountains to go snowmobiling at. So I don't know what we're going to wind up doing, but we're going to get in some mischief, that's for sure.
Is BYU home anytime in those 2 weeks?
I'm not really sure. Let me look here while we're looking. I'll look and find out. I'm sure one of the two of them
Yeah,
will be
that's what I
home.
would think. I
Had a
don't think
chance
they've
to
had
go to the
senior day
TCU
yet.
game, but let's see what they're coming up. UCF at BYU on the 29th. But first, it's BYU at Cincinnati.
Okay, so they got to go to Cincinnati
Yeah.
this week, but then UCF is the final home game and also senior day at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. So
Yep.
you guys might have to. When are they supposed to fly out? Sunday the 30th, or
Something like that. I think so. Yeah, that would be fun.
uh, that might be a call for a visit to his buddy Cosmo.
I think so. Get a Cosmo and definitely I got to track down a cougar tail before the season ends. That's for sure.
Yes, yes. And if you don't know what a cougar tail is, it's kind of like a
Basically,
long john. Is if
it's probably
you,
like a maple bar
yeah, there you go.
it's a maple bar about 3 or 4 times the size
Mm.
length. It's probably about, I would say it's about 3 or 4 Morgan maple bars.
Ooh, ooh, about 3 Morgan maple bars. That might be something that an idea for Morgan's Bakery. They have the tiger cookies. Maybe
Yeah,
do the tiger tail,
I was going to say that'd be
copy
good for them.
copy the cougar tail from up there.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You might
That
want
might
to put
be,
in your think tank next time you're in Tahlequah.
heck yeah.
Go by Morgan's Bakery
Yep,
and tell them about this. They might that might be something for a fix up for a Friday night.
that's right. You, yeah, I think it's about probably at least, I think it's 3 links, maybe about 3 Morgan Bakery.
Maple
Yeah,
bars.
Maple bars, yeah, it'll be about three of them,
They have to charge like about $4 for them.
probably at
Yeah,
least.
at least 4 to 5. But that would be a good thing to sell at a ball game.
Sure would. Wouldn't that be
Uh,
fun?
that would be not in 26, but 27 at the new home of the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good thing to do.
That'd be a thing to launch at the first game, wouldn't it?
Oh, that might be a good thing for opening night.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's uh, it doesn't hurt to scheme a little bit.
No, let's go ahead. I mean, I got a young lady who is the Tahlequah teacher that's going to be heading my way. Maybe I can kind of drop some things in for her to start looking for some fundraisers for her academic team.
That yeah, talking about Wendy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we're gonna close it out as far as this week's concerned. Next week we will take the week off and we'll come back after Thanksgiving, and by then
Yep.
we'll talk high
Let's see where
school
the dust settles. Yep.
about opening night for Tiger basketball and all the schools around. Because once after Thanksgiving comes around, basketball season will be in full swing
Yes, it
for the
will.
high schools. So we'll talk about that. Don't eat too much turkey or ham during the Thanksgiving holidays, and we'll talk about what things are going on come the first part of December when we come back in 2 weeks on the Cover 4 podcast. Have a good Thanksgiving. We'll see you then.